gaming, they probably shouldn't have ruined so many games already. But they're not mad or upset due to what they've contributed to gaming. No, they're...
The answer to that is no. People cannot see this, and they get manipulated easily.
That he's depicted as a samurai. Bro, people in Japan literally made a song that mocks AC's Shadows that in only 2 months has already gotten nearly 3 million views.
Jesus.
And of course, all over the internet, plenty of Japanese people have also criticized Ubisoft, plenty of videos, plenty of posts all over social media, etc.
And also, it's true that every single comment that's made in Japanese is not also made by a Westerner. It's, again, muddying the waters. It's disinformation. IQ is dropping across the board from fluoride. For sure. So true. You're right about everything. It's also flat.
And these bootlickers really want to try and say that it's all just Westerners using translators. They then write about Hashimoto, who, as you can see here, was listed as a freelance narrative design consultant over at Sweet Baby Inc.
So this is the person who wrote it, and then they were actually on Sweet Baby. Yeah, what a fucking surprise. It reminds me of the George Carlin, it's all a big club and you're not in it. Man, that's crazy, isn't it?
And they say Hashimoto told the New York Times, quote, it was people in the West who were upset with seeing Yasuke as a samurai.
Right.
Small added, Small, for those that don't know, is the journalist behind said New York Times article.
Yes.
They say, Small added that Hashimoto explained, quote, that many of the negative online comments written in Japanese appear to have been roughly translated from English. The narrative...
Many of the... And so this is, again, if you look again, many of the negative comments, which is true, but is many most? Is many 20%? I would say 20% of something is very many of them. Like 1 out of 5 is huge. Online comments written in Japanese appear to have been roughly translated from English. And also, this is only in the context of one video that's being used as a sample. And the sample is being used from the Ubisoft Japan video. Whereas there were other people with Japanese communities that talked about it that transcended that and also other videos about it that were universally negative. So it's, again, more misinformation and more misleading of the reader.
The narrative that Hashimoto, Small, and Ubisoft were trying to spin was outrageous to begin with, given that Small had written just 2 paragraphs ahead of his citation of Hashimoto that Ubisoft attempted to assume concerns about the game's authenticity, apologizing in a lengthy statement for promotional materials that it said had bothered some Japanese audiences.
Attempted to assuage concerns about a game's authenticity. So, yes, very clear. It is very clear that Ubisoft thought this was a problem, and if Ubisoft actually thought that the only people that were unhappy were racist Westerners that don't like black people, they wouldn't have posted a message in Japanese to their Japanese audience apologizing to them directly. So even Ubisoft doesn't believe this, because if they did, they wouldn't have posted a Japanese apology. And this is, again, it's the problem. This is what happens when you use logic. This type of thinking immediately falls apart.
Another contradiction there. Even before this, Small noted, the inclusion of Yasuke was the primary complaint. But observers also pointed to the presence of Chinese architecture and period inappropriate flags. The controversy became so heated that a small right-wing political party in Japan formally asked the government to comment on what is considered historical inaccuracies.
So, again, so you see a small right-wing party, and this is like any time that I see, this is like just, like there are words, let me actually think about this. There's a lot of extra ones there. Let me go ahead and just skip all of those. And, oh yeah, there's a Sony thing. I remember that. Yeah, that was my prediction. Yeah, I have a lot of these. Okay, let's have another one. Words that when I read them, I realize I am reading propaganda. So, far right, alt-right, believed by some to be. Right wing, yeah. I mean, just all variants of that, basically. Communist. Socialism. Nazi. Conspiracy theory. Woke. DEI. Let's start with this. Any time that I read one of these words, I instantly put my guard up. These are some of the most misused words right now in discourse. Any time that I see any of these words used for any reason, I am immediately on guard. Why not left? Well, that's the communist and socialism. The difference is like, actually, I spell fascism. I know that's not how to spell it, but maybe it is. Anyway, yeah, fascism is another one, right? Yeah, they're basically buzzwords. It is. That's a shock. But yeah, What's DEI? Diversity, inclusion, and diversity, equity, inclusion. It's like a big, what do you call it? It's a big umbrella term. And so incels, yeah, I could have more listed as well. But like the point that I'm making here is this. It's that when I read these words, I automatically assume that the person is trying to mislead me or make me think something by proxy. So a right-wing political group, they are trying to make you think by proxy that they're racist. And this is what a lot of people do. And I actually really like reading articles like this, and I like talking about this, because I think that there's not enough people that are dissecting this language and showing it for how misleading and manipulative it really is. We have a huge problem with like language manipulation. And again, the fact that so many people are functionally illiterate, or at least they lack the critical thinking to evaluate things that are written, that this goes over so many people's heads. But you're seeing this happen. It will only get worse. It will. And that's why I love doing videos like this and talking about it. So it's, again, a small right wing, and also small, right, which is true. This is all true. And the problem is that it is framed in a way that implies something that's inaccurate. Formally ask the government to comment on what it considered historical inaccuracies. This is not a question, by the way, what it considered. So basically what it's doing here is that it's taking the presence of Chinese architecture, it's attributing it to a source that is not to be believed, and then it's using the fact that the source is considering it as a way to invalidate what the consideration was used as. Do you see how this happens? It's a framing device. Yes, it's a framing device. Words are propping up a weak statement. Yes. And again, I love reading this stuff. I love doing it because it's like, I fucking hate it. I hate the manipulation. I hate the lies. It's so annoying. It's the spin. Yeah.
If it was just Western people, why was a Japanese political party requesting an investigation into the game? And why did Ubisoft issue a so-called apology to Japanese gamers?
Great question.
Nevertheless, it's been discovered that Hashimoto was actually an employee of Sweet Baby Inc. from February 2020 to April 2023, as noted by his own LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Not only is Hashimoto a former employee of Sweet Baby Inc., but he's an activist journalist whose articles are featured at Polygon, Siliconera, Vim, and multiple outlets owned by Gamers Group. Mark Kern, aka Grums, shared one article Hashimoto wrote on Medium where he criticized Animal Crossing New Horizons by acknowledging Japan's history of colonial rule. You gotta be kidding me. This dude actually got pressed by Animal Crossing, saying it's like a colonizer game.
By the way, we didn't do colonization. We did conquering. We came to America and we killed everybody here and we took their stuff. The whole idea that it's colonialism, this is a euphemism. And Japan did the same thing. Everywhere did this. Genghis Khan did this. Colonialism is a euphemism for conquering. And that's what really happened.
Are these people always so friggin' lame and weird? Earlier this year, Hashimoto also wrote an article at Vim.
That's a great question.
How gay can you be in Dragon's Dogma 2? An investigation. What the frick? What am I reading here, man? It is unsurprising that Ubisoft and the New York Times...
You can have sex with a cat. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. Like, that seems like, I mean, if you can do that, you do whatever the hell you want. Yes, you can. You go to the brothel. I did it on accident. It was on, I didn't mean to do it. Like, I didn't try to, I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't know, basically, like, I was like, I don't know why. Like, it was just like, I don't know what, I mean, I don't even.
Use Hashimoto as a so-called expert to attack gamers.
Right.
It's an old play the Access media uses. For example,
yeah, this is exactly right. They're using this person, and again, like, you know, they have a Japanese last name, and so they're going to be seen as a person who is looking at it from the perspective of Japan. And that's, again, more types of, it is an appeal to authority. It's like a soft appeal to authority. And so it's no longer, and it's, again, like, what is it at the baseline? You know what it is at the baseline? Identity politics. It's, we are going to use this person's identity that's going to passively cause you to have an implicit level of trust and authenticity in their words for us to push an agenda that's misleading.
On Prime previously used this play in the lead up to release The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 1.
Yeah.
However, instead of using the New York Times, Amazon went to Vanity Fair and writers Anthony Bresnikan and Joanna Robinson. That duo then launched their attack on gamers, saying, when Amazon released photos of its multicultural cast, even without character names or plot details, the studio endured a reflexive attack from trolls, the anonymous online kind. Then they cited a woman...
And again, right, it's like people that don't want a, you know, obviously, you know, Lord of the Rings is written as a medieval European fantasy. Who do you think was in medieval Europe? Pretty much all white people. What are we even talking about? Yeah, it was all white people. Like, in I haven't seen Shogun, but I have a feeling that almost everybody there is probably going to be Japanese, right? Yeah, I wonder why. There's one white guy? Yeah, sure.
named Maria Rios Maldonado, who they described as a Tolkien scholar. However, she is anything but. Rather, she was a PhD student at the University of Glasgow who is interested in ethics, feminist theory, and encountering the others in Tolkien's works. It's really funny how ethics for these people really just means bootlicking massive corporations.
Well, it's not about bootlicking a massive corporation. It's about pushing an agenda that they believe in. So, yeah, what is the other in Tolkien's works? I'm assuming that this is probably how the Haradrim and the other types of like people from the East are perceived as being other races of people. That's probably the orc family. No, I think they're probably, yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Happened to be the Equality and Diversity Officer for the University of Glasgow Center for Fantasy and the Fantastic. I think I just lost IQ reading that right there. Anyways, continuing. Next, Vanity Fair used Maldonado to attack Tolkien fans and imply they're all racist for simply wanting a more accurate adaptation. She questioned, obviously there was going to be push and backlash, but the question is from whom? Who are these people that feel so threatened or disgusted by the idea that an elf is black or Latino or Asian?
And this is one thing that a lot of people do, is they used words like threatened or disgusted in order to emotionally elevate the conversation to make their opponents feel and seem less reasonable. This is a very common debate strategy where you're not actually appealing to an argument. You're not creating any sort of a compelling agreement or like a compelling narrative. You're just trying to make the other person look ridiculous. And that's what what happens extremely commonly. It's ad hominem. I'm not really sure. I'd have to really think about that. But like what I'm saying is that they over-exaggerate it to make the people that are disagreeing seem unreasonable and to make themselves seem better. So anytime you see somebody that elevates language, like to threatened or disgusted or something like that, you should automatically assume that this person is trying to mislead you. It's bad faith. It's bad faith description.
The tactic did not end up working for Rings of Power, as the Hollywood Reporter's Kim Masters reported in April 2023 that 63% of individuals who watched part of the show's premiere back in 2022 did not complete the show. She wrote, while Amazon, like other streamers, provides only limited data and internally held information even more closely than usual in series. Sources confirmed that the Rings of Power had a 37% domestic completion rate. For those outside the US, the completion rate was higher. Masters shared overseas.
Very hard for me to say, like, is that good or bad?
It reached 45%. A 50% completion rate would be solid, but not spectacular, according to insiders. And so this sort of tactic is also unlikely to work with Assassin's Creed Shadows, as Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot already revealed that the game is unlikely to be the best-selling Assassin's Creed game of all time.
I could assume that.
Barclays' Nick Dempsey asked him, when you talk about it being the most ambitious, are you hoping for it to be the best-selling Assassin's Creed game? To which Guillemot replied, at this time we can say we expect Assassin's Creed to be among the high sellers of the company so far. Okay,
yeah,
so
I mean, like, basically no, we don't think it's going to be a bestseller, but we think it'll do well. Yeah, sure.
in other words, he dodged the question. The game's pre-orders do not look good either. Craig Skitstimus, aka Stuttering Craig, who owns and hosts the Side Scrollers podcast, shared that a retail insider informed him that the game is selling less than 1 copy per store. He says, my insider told me that as of this morning at their nationwide big box chain, Assassin's Creed Shadows has less than 800 pre-orders combined for Xbox and PlayStation 5 company-wide.
I don't believe that. I think that's too low. The reason why I don't believe that is because at the Japanese PlayStation store, the copy for like Assassin's Creed was like #1 and #3 for the deluxe edition and the base edition. So like if Japan probably doesn't like this more than we do because they feel like it's an assault on their culture and they're topping the charts with that, that's only physical. Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think that you can really base anything off of this. You have no frame of reference.
They have over 900
right?
stores.
How many people pre-ordered Dragon's Dogma 2? How many people pre-ordered Star Wars Outlaws? How many people pre-ordered? Like, you present a number with no context, and it's like, wow, whoa, what? Like, what does that mean?
There's 1 pre-order per store. Yikes. On the PlayStation Store, the Ultimate Edition of the game, which costs around $130, is ranked 16th behind New World Eternum, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Silent Hill 2, Mortal Kombat 1, Chaos Reigns Expansion, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Well, of course it is, because it's been out for a long time. But when it first came out, it was highly ranked on the PlayStation Store.
Which, by the way, is a game that I'm excited for. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was one of the best fighting games of all time. As for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the base game is even further down the list in the 21st place behind Disney epic Mickey Rebrushed, Throne and Liberty, and Sonic X Shadow Generations. The Gold Edition sits on the 2nd page in 30th place. And
that's also another reason why it would not be successful. It's because the instances of it are being split. So you can see Dragon Age is here and also here. So if there's 2 separate placings and one of them has 60 and the other one has 40, you could easily see that. And this seems to be the case with New World Eternum, Assassin's Creed Shadows, but games that only have 1 release copy are going to have a natural advantage inside of this algorithm because they're not pulling and dividing the sales between 2 different types of copies of the game. So like, and this is, it's very important to, let's just try to look at this fairly. That's all I want to do.
saying, what do you make of this revelation that Hashimoto was a former Sweet Baby Inc. employee? Yeah, like I said in the very intro, I just can't believe that Ubisoft is doing what they do, and they think this is like the right move. They're one of the largest gaming companies in the entire world, and they could just put that power and money towards making good games, but apparently that's too much to ask. Instead, we see them come up with all kinds of excuses and contradictions, bunch of bots all over the internet attempting to defend them. We see it all over Twitter and YouTube comments, for example. Heck, I made a video a few days ago where I talked about how a video that I made talking about the terrible financial situation for Ubisoft had gotten an influx of bot comments. They were like spamming the comment section with periods. And then in between the period spam, there were other bots leaving comments attempting to defend Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws, but their comments sounded so nonsensical. And now it looks like the New York Times is collaborating with some ex-Sweet Baby Inc. employee to defend Ubisoft as well. This whole situation.
Here's one thing you have to keep in mind, is that every single piece of mainstream media that's like part of this like kind of cabal, every single one of them is against you. They all have the exact same opinion about this, and they will work in concert to destroy your reputation and to make your position seem unreasonable and bad. It's the same reason why, like, for example, like Stellar Blade comes out, or Hogwarts Legacy comes out, or what was the recent one? Pow World comes out, or I think there's a couple other games that were like very big controversy games. Space Marine 2 comes out. Every single one of them has the same cookie cutter opinion, and they have the exact same agenda. You're seeing a diversity of company names, but you're not seeing any diversity of thought. All of these mainstream publications have the exact same agenda, and they work together to push that agenda. Like, yeah, it's unironically a matrix. And you'd have to be blind not to see this.
It's just so bizarre. On top of all that, there was the old news where they came out with Skull and Bones trying to say this is like a quadruple A game, everybody. And then the whole like gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games. It's like the majority.
I think again that comment was out of context. There's a lot of things that we can shit on Ubisoft for. That isn't one of them.
Stuff that comes out from this company is just like the worst statements and the worst actions they could possibly do. It's like they have an option. Do you want to do something good, or do you want to do like the worst option possible? And they always pick the worst option. And to end with some comedy, let's go back to that whole Hashimoto Animal Crossing thing. Because Hashimoto made this tweet, says, "Hi, I wrote about Animal Crossing New Horizons and why acknowledging Japan's history of colonial rule is important to the discussion." No, it's literally not at all. It's a freaking...
Nobody cares. Nobody thinks it's important at all. That's what I think people need to realize, is that just because you say something is important doesn't make it important. Obviously, it doesn't feel like it cover everything, but feel free to read New Horizons and Japanese colonialism. Oh, God.
Animal Crossing game. If you're taking it that seriously and getting all mad at it, something's seriously wrong with this person. And they end by saying, obviously, it doesn't cover everything, but feel free to read.
Well, it's the old adage of when you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. These are people that view everything through this lens. So as soon as they see something like Animal Crossing, they can't help themselves but to think the exact same thing. How do people get like this? I think that people get like this by... I don't know. It's probably really complicated. I don't really... I think that a very large component of it is actually guilt. It's a sense of guilt that they have, and then it's performative empathy in order to like get positive attention. In general, I think that if you want to find out why somebody thinks something, figure out what they get out of it or how it benefits them, and then you can generally have the answer.
The headline, Animal Crossing New Horizons and Japanese colonialism. Weirdo. Anyways, I will leave it there. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage on this topic, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you. See you in the comments and in the next one.
Well,
today we talk about...
Just a second.
Well, apparently...
I completely agree with what he's saying. And I just hope you guys can realize and read, and hopefully try to read between the lines and look at the way that something is being implied. Because this is one thing that I think really matters a lot. Is that when you realize that somebody is trying to make you think a certain thing, you have to have your guard up. And I think it's also really important when we're talking about things that we agree with, too.
Shit.
Because, like, I think that a lot of times people are more willing to accept misinformation if the misinformation reaffirms what they already believe. They're like, well, hey, give the video a like, by the way. This is very, very good. I was glad to see this. I've watched a lot of Hero High videos over the years. And, yeah, Pin of Truth, yeah, we knew it. Exactly, everybody knew it. The Japanese Rise wasn't a video game, but a propaganda piece aimed at rewriting their history. It wasn't aimed at rewriting their history. It was aimed at building up Ubisoft's reputation as being a developer that cares about social issues. That's why they did it. That's why they care. It had nothing to do with anything else.
Ole!
9-hour show tonight, so we've got like 7 hours.
I'm gonna try to do a short show tonight.
Maybe another 20.
Or-
Another 20 hours.
one of these days we'll do like a 24-hour stream or something. But
Good luck.
not
That
tonight.
would be insane.
Selena, do you want to eventually be engaged in a relationship, a happy marriage, children, all those sorts of things?
Yeah.
So what's the thinking with the porn?
I mean, it's just like, it's something I enjoy doing. Like, and I, like, obviously I'm 19, so I haven't been doing it for that long.
So
And-
you can get out and, well, you still can maybe.
I mean, I could change careers if I wanted to, but for now I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Do you ever stop to think about the detrimental effect that it might have on your future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
do you
like,
recognize that it's dirty money? I mean, I've made dirty money before in different various ways that I can't tell the United States Customs, but you know, it comes with consequences.
yeah,
So,
of course there's consequences.
Yeah.
There's consequences, but I mean, you could say that about a lot of jobs. Like, I don't know, like I'm at a point where it's like I've kind of accepted that there's always going to be judgment. There will be backlash in the future, like especially if I have a family and stuff. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it was a decision that I made to do this career, and you know, in life you have to kind of just like accept your consequences. You know, it's part of life.
But why this though? Why this particular career? There's a lot of ways that you seem like a bright young lady, but there's a lot of different ways that you could make money. There's a lot of different things you could do. Why that? It's like the most extreme thing that you could possibly do.
That is true. I mean, initially I just kind of started online, and it was more of like my fans wanting me to expand. Like I started out really small, and then I kind of just decided to do it, and it was kind of just like a rush decision. Like I wasn't thinking about all the backlash or future consequences, because I'm like, I'm young, whatever, I'm gonna do this because it seems fun and interesting.
What about the consequences now as well? Because of it, like diseases and everything is very rampant in that industry as well. Do you ever think
Disease?
about diseases, you know, sexually transmitted diseases?
For our industry, I feel like it's very safe. We get tested full panel every 2 weeks, and we can't work without it.
But if you have a blood disease like HIV, then it takes 6 months sometimes for it to show up.
That is true, and that's why I do PrEP, like the HIV PrEP pill, to protect myself from that.
Yeah, but there's other things as well that you could catch, and if you were to slip up,
I know,
you
yeah,
went
and-
through some
Herpes? Are you
No,
talking about herpes?
I'm talking about herpes, HIV, all these different sort of things that you could catch. Do you ever?
Raise your hand if you have herpes. I don't know. Okay, go.
I mean, like, yeah, that's a fair point, but it's like, I feel like in our industry, like, we're safer than average people, because, like, we do care about being tested so often, like, the likelihood is just very low, I feel like. I mean, like, 14-day, like, in a 14-day span, the only thing I worry about is people, what they do in their spare time, because I don't know if they're going out,
But
you know,
if you're
with
always
anybody.
engaging in sex, then just by that alone, then you're putting yourself at more risk. And also, the numbers show that these diseases are much more prevalent. Like herpes is very, very prevalent in the porn industry.
Yeah, it is, yeah, and that's a risk you take by doing it, you know?
Is the money good enough to be doing this?
It kind of just depends who you are, how much
It seems like from what you're saying, you sort of just fell into it. It's sort of escalated. You're aware of that there are consequences. You're not delusional that there are all of these consequences.
Not at all.
But you don't want to get out of it at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now I'm happy, you know, pursuing it, and, you know, in a few years, if I don't want to do it anymore, then I don't have to do it. You know, I can quit whenever I want. Like,
Have you seen just recently in the last year or so, there's been all of these different porn stars that have finished their career and off themselves. Have you seen that as well?
yeah, I mean, I've heard about all those stories, and it is very sad.
It's like they tend to get sort of used up and then thrown away after their career, after these like long 20-year careers, and then they're not attractive anymore. And then once their beauty fades, they get sort of tossed to the side.
I mean, you could say that with anyone, and like, I feel like as far as like offing yourself and stuff, that's prevalent just in the world in general, not just necessarily within a certain industry. Like, you never know what people deal with, what they're going through, their experiences. Like, I don't know. I actually didn't know those women, so I don't know what they dealt with in their life. It could have been something completely unrelated to my industry.
Yeah.
But
Yael, you had a question for?
Yeah, I was just wondering what you thought about, sorry, like how it might affect you since, how old, you said you were 19?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, because starting at like a younger age versus like people that are older, not that I know much about like the effects on different people, but since it has like effect on people's mental health, do you think it might be worse like for people that are younger, or like are you concerned about that at all or not?
for mental health, I feel like I've always personally struggled with it. Like, I've struggled with depression, anxiety, you know, and it's always been a thing. Like, mentally, I've always been, you know, not the best. And I feel like even if I did a different career, I would still be struggling. And that's why I'm kind of just like, it is hard mentally to put yourself out there and be vulnerable with, like, your whole body and, like, everything. Like, it is difficult. And, like, I do get judged, like, in every way. Like, literally every single thing about me gets judged. And it is hard. But, I mean, I guess in the future I'll see about my mental health and the effects that it had. But that's just, you know, it's life.
Really quick on the career thing. Did we go around the table? We did go around the table on the career. Yeah. I forgot to actually make my own point on this. So here's the reality. Vast majority of men really don't care about your career. Like, A lot of girls will say, I bring my career to the table, I bring my money to the table. Vast majority of men really don't care. It doesn't make you, when I say they don't care, I mean it doesn't make you more attractive to them. In the same way that a woman might be like really attracted to a man who's a doctor. Ooh, voice crack. Happens a lot. Doctor, lawyer. These are kind of more prestigious positions. Women will tend to really prioritize trying to date these kinds of men who have these kinds of positions. They're in high demand. It makes them more attractive to women. Women who occupy these positions typically don't become more attractive. So women tend to more highly prioritize. Posting this for Mason rather than for the panel that is uninterested in what quality man is looking for, but it still needs to be said, ladies, your career ambitions doesn't make his D harder. Yo, Desert Joe, thank you so much for the TTS, man. I really appreciate it. Good point. For example, like women, I don't know if you'll know this, like, so have you ever seen these concerts where a woman will be like, go to a concert, her favorite musician or whatever, and she'll like write a message on her iPhone, like, I'll fuck you right now? like men who are really high status, who are famous, athletes, musicians, actors, women like will significantly pursue these kinds of men and be like more turned on, more attracted to these kinds of men. But like a woman's status, it doesn't really make you more attractive. Really. You disagree?
I mean, I've walked in on a few patients jacking off in the hospital.
Wait, what? Wait,
That took a turn. That took a turn.
What is
Are they saying like
Like
to you?
my patients,
Red
I
herring.
would like walk in and they're just touching themselves, or they'll be
Oh
like,
my God.
the door
Do you
will
think
be
that's
open,
because of
and I'll
your
be like
job?
sitting at my desk, and they'll just be like,
Maybe bro's bored.
Oh, fuck.
They probably are bored. I'm just like,
Got nothing else to do.
They're just right there.
Well, I'm not really sure if that's totally related, but
It's kind of related.
So you're saying men are very attracted to nurses in that way?
Maybe. No,
Yeah.
probably
or
just
could
bored
they
patients.
just be?
They're
Yeah, or
just
they're just sitting there just with
Yeah,
nothing
maybe it's
to
the
do.
drugs that we give them.
I don't
Jacking their little
know.
wieners.
But like, here's the reality, right? Like, you're a travel nurse, you're an RN, you've done a bunch of schooling for that, you probably make good money. I've heard travel nurses make a lot of pretty good money. Nurses in general make good money. I don't think like you're going to be able to outcompete like a woman who's more physically attractive who works at Chick-fil-A. I'm not saying that to be insulting, but like a man will prioritize like a woman's.
Unemployed is what we
Well,
want.
they want
Even
someone
unemployed.
feminine, like in their feminine energy. And
Men want that?
yeah, men.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not just all about looks. I mean, men do care about being feminine, bringing peace, like you have a good positive disposition, these sorts of things. But like women will sort of almost project, okay, I find these traits attractive in men. I find status, dominance, etc. These things attractive in men. Ergo, men must similarly find these same traits attractive in women, but it's not the case. So women will perhaps sometimes confuse, in a sort of confused way, pursue a career or pursue status, thinking once I get enough status, once I get here in my career, I will become more attractive to men. It's actually not the case. In fact, as you get more money, as you earn more money, as you get more status, your pool shrinks, not really so much from the male side of it, but because you now need men to either match or out-earn you. You need men to have similar prestige, similar status to you. You often hear this with women. I need a man who makes as much or more than me. So typically, once men, the more money a man makes, the more status he makes, his dating pool opens. The more money and status a woman gets, her dating pool shrinks.
That's messed up.
Why is that messed up?
Well, because the guy, I guess, should be making more money than his wife if you want to have like a traditional family.
Right, but so that used to not be hard when women were not participating to the same degree in the labor pool. So it's very easy to be economically attractive as a man to women if the woman didn't work. And you used to be able to raise a family on one income. That's no longer the case, though. So what was the way men typically, at least in the past, made themselves attractive to women? By being providers. Now, women don't need men in that same way because you're making your own money. So then you start looking at other things that will make you attracted to him that have nothing to do with providing necessarily, because you can still provide for yourself. So I think it used to be in the past, oh, okay, he can provide for me, then that's good, I guess. But anyways, ultimately, most men, if given the option, will date the 21-year-old hottie who works at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru over the 31-year-old, I guess still good looking, but lawyer woman. Agree, disagree?
That's true.
Agree,
I
disagree?
agree,
You disagree?
messed
Maybe it's a
up.
difference between Europe and America.
It's
I
got to
really
be the
don't
same
know.
in Europe.
Should we move?
It's for sure the same in Europe.
I really don't.
I think there's a lot more nuance. I think there's a lot of
your
men,
countries are pretty
like you
liberal,
say.
though. Like your countries are very liberal, like those European countries. It is a bit of a different vibe there. But in saying that, a lot of countries in Europe are also very
Yeah,
Christian
there's
as well. So
very
oftentimes
traditional
the
countries.
girls will live at home until they're married and take the whole traditional route as well. So it's a mixed bag over there. It's not like they're all
Maybe
just.
the area where I live, indeed. In
Oh,
Netherlands.
Holland is very liberal. It's falling apart, if I'm honest. They're going to be underwater hopefully soon.
Okay.
So, like,
He's just like, screw off.
well, they're pretty good. They're pretty good engineers over there.
Yeah, no,
They
they're
figured
good.
it
Sorry,
out.
they're good farmers. We need their farming. That's about it.
Like I think the perspective where guys will factor in, like your job, is, I mean, it could be a component insofar as he's like, okay, well, I want to start a family. Like it will have certain, it'll benefit the family if she's earning enough. But like in terms of attraction, it's not the same between men and women. Like a girl will be really attracted. Like I'm trying to think. Like guys can make up for deficits in other realms with status and with money. It's not so much the case for women that they can make up for their deficits in terms of what men care about when it comes to attraction, which I mean the big thing is obviously
Youth, beauty, and fertility, you
Yeah.
can't really make up for it.
Yeah.
With status and money.
So again, I would argue most men, if given the option, they'll pick a 21-year-old who works at Chick-fil-A over a 31-year-old who's an attorney. Every single time. Agree or disagree?
I think often, not every single time.
Do you think that for men of all ages?
I'd say often as well. Often, yeah. I'd
Well,
say
okay,
I've
sure,
met
it's
a lot
not
of outliers.
It's not every single time, but you know, it's let's just say it's the majority.
But a lot of
Most
guys
men
in
would
these
make
countries are like institutionalized with liberalism, you know, and they'd be just as shocked as they are to hear about these.
Well, I suppose like they've been propagandized and brainwashed to
Exactly.
some degree, but
In Australia, it's rampant.
But in terms of like their like knee-jerk initial like what they're attracted to, I'm sure
Yeah.
you'd agree even
Yeah.
with the brainwashing.
Definitely.
They're still going to be more attracted to the 21-year like more attracted to the 21-year-old who works at Chick-fil-A than the 31-year-old master's degree attorney whatever.
But everyone feels like they need to self-censor these days, and that they'd be called out for saying anything else. So guys just won't go with what they actually believe.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Word.
Rough times.
Okay, let's see here. We got a bunch of stuff to get into. We went around the table about what they bring to the table. I think, right? Did you answer that
No.
question? I think we got.
Yeah,
you.
I answered.
What do you bring to the table?
I'd say I'm very understanding.
Of cheating?
No, I'm very understanding. I would like to think I'm pretty nice, hardworking. I don't know. I'm good at communicating, and I feel like that's very important in a relationship. So if they want to talk about something, I feel like it's my job to make them feel like they're understood. And yeah, I'm like trying to think, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll read a couple chats here. Maddie, can you read?
Females can be on the podcast, but ain't no way we can let one get in the White House. I would rather that gay but gay guy than a female,
Yeah. Go ahead.
especially a Democrat. They tried locking him up and killing him, but no man can interfere with God's plan. Vote Trump.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Mike Davis. Good to see you in the chat, man. It's been, Mr. Mike Davis, it's been a while.
Fact.
Where you been, man? Good to see you in the chat, man. Good to see you in the chat, Mr. Mike Davis. And then we have a message here from Alexia. Yael, can you read this one? Can you see the...
I'm like, sorry, just taking the opportunity to be a first-time supporter of the show and aid in the efforts for Mason. What a tragedy.
Hey, Alexia, thank you so much for the message via Streamlabs. Good to have you as a first-time supporter. Really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so where do we go? You know what? We need to do your dating app review. We're gonna get you a man here.
Let's go.
We're gonna get you your 0.11%.
Please do. I actually delated dating apps for like a year, and then
Okay.
I realized that I had really
We
bad
got you.
dates in person too. So
Bad dates. What did you do to make it a bad date?
me,
Yeah.
showed up.
Late. You just showed up.
Mr. Unicorn might be watching here.
Yeah.
While we
That's how
pull
I
up,
need to change.
can we pull up the dating apps for her? Okay. Is this the
no.
first one?
No,
Or
that's like the second or third, I
oh,
think.
are you sure it's at the start? It is at the start. Okay, maybe it's just out of order, but that's fine. Okay, so this is Gabby. Gabby's dating app profile. There she is in. Is that Haiti?
Havar.
Huh?
Havar.
Where's that?
Croatia.
Croatia.
Oh, okay. Wait, the
That's
top
probably
one or
the red flag.
the bottom
first
one?
The first one's in Havar, and then the second one is in Laguna Beach.
Oh, how did I confuse Laguna Beach for Haiti? Okay. All right, next. Can you read the prompt?
I go crazy for beach days, traveling, coffee, hiking, adventures, and good food.
Oh, hold on. Read it.
Dating me is like winning the lottery.
Where's
yeah,
that
because you
photo?
found your unicorn. Santa Monica.
Winning the lottery?
Yeah, because I'm a unicorn.
What's the chance of winning the Powerball or whatever? Isn't it like...
Win a million?
Less than 0.11%.
Oh, see, it's the same. We have the same odds.
Wait, so like dating you is like winning the lottery?
Yeah. Because
Why is that?
you see how small my dating pool is? 0.11%.
Well, that would be you winning the lottery for dating the guy that you want, right? But
So it's same,
is it though?
but different.
Is it?
It's pretty equivalent.
No, it's not. Learn math.
Don't you think it's a bit prideful or a bit of hubris to be like, dating me, I am so fucking amazing and special that it's like winning the lottery?
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of red flags in there,
A
Gabby.
lot of red flags. I need to change it. What should I change it to?
A lot of red flags.
Dating me is like,
I didn't know what else to put.
I got it for you. Dating me is like buying 30 scratch cards and winning on one of them.
Winning like $1.
Yeah, that's fair,
That
right?
would be, and that would be funny as well. I'd giggle
Okay,
at
I'll
that.
change it to that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right? See, I'm already helping you out. Change that.
Okay, I'm gonna get hella mad now.
Dating me is like playing Russian roulette. I might ruin your life or kill you.
Wait, wait, I love that. Okay.
Dating me is like picking up a needle from one of the back street of impoverished town in Philadelphia. Wait, hold on. Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going.
Stabbing myself with it and not getting HIV.
There you go. That's great. Because it's like winning the lottery of not getting HIV.
Yeah, that's great.
And it communicates that you don't have HIV. And okay, never mind. So, I don't get the winning the lottery thing though.
It was just a prompt, and I didn't know what else to
Oh,
put.
okay.
I actually just re-downloaded it, so
Would you date
I'm
an
not
average
good at
guy?
dating apps. Would I date an average guy?
Yeah.
If they have a great personality.
No.
Oh,
so
average personality?
So average personality, average looks, average height, average PP size.
Dingaling.
Ding-a-ling. Would you?
Well, it's all about the motion of the ocean, but no.
You wouldn't date an average
Not
guy?
like an average personality. That'd be boring.
What's wrong with average?
Do you think I'm average?
Yes.
Oh.
It's okay though. There's nothing wrong with average.
No, there's nothing wrong with average.
Uh,
It just sounds like it'd be boring. I'd rather be single.
I think average people normally they date each other. You know, like
Yeah.
extremely beautiful people date each other. Ugly people date each
so
other.
I need to date someone ugly.
would you? You said you wouldn't. Did you say you wouldn't be willing to settle? Is that what you said?
I would
Or-
rather be single
Rather be
than
single, yeah.
settle with someone who's like average,
Average.
and boring and like doesn't make me happy or fulfill my needs.
But what about when you're in your 40s, for example, and you're not really traveling as much, and you know you're not like young in your 20s anymore, and life slows down a little bit? Don't you think you'd be more happy to be with a guy who works in construction, who's 5'10", earns a decent salary, and he's a good guy, and you guys can make kids and have a family and
Maybe.
live a
My mind
meaningful
might change
life?
when I'm older because every year you learn something new. But at this
But
moment,
isn't it just a vapid lifestyle to be doing the same thing in your 40s and 50s?
I mean, I don't do anything too crazy right now.
But if you were still doing that when you're in like 20 years' time, don't you think it would be wouldn't be a very good life?
Yeah, I mean, anything that you do for a long time like could get boring after a while.
Yeah. I think if
I
I was,
don't
if
wanna
I was
be
still doing
single
what I'm
forever,
doing
but-
now in 20 years' time, that's like it's like a nightmare for me to think about that.
Yeah.
I don't really think that girls think ahead that much with this sort of thing.
I mean, I definitely do.
What
I
the
wanna have
fuck?
a big family and have lots of kids. But I shouldn't feel the
What
pressure
the
of
fuck?
society.
2 times?
I think we all need that pressure. That's like a good pressure that we've got. It's like duty. We
Yeah,
have like
for
a
men to
duty.
say that because guys don't have like a time clock.
Yeah, but we've got other disadvantages. You know, we've got lots of disadvantages.
Like,
Well, the fact that we don't get any attention sexually when we're younger. When a guy's 20,
I
21,
cannot
no
believe that
resources, he's
shit.
probably
I
got
can't
pimple on his
believe
face and,
I fuck
and
it up
ugly.
so
Girls
bad.
don't really look twice at them.
I mean, same with girls.
Are you joking? Girls who are in between 20 and 24 in their sexual peak, they get the
Oh, I
most
thought
attention.
you were talking about high school.
I'm not really talking about even young guys in high school. I mean, we should pull up one of my high school photos. I was disgusting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, we have to develop ourselves as men, and then getting into your 30s when you've got more resources, you're more competent, you're a better leader. This is when you start to get more attention, and you start to this sort of thing starts
Well,
to
it
go, I
definitely
guess.
takes guys longer to mature because your frontal cortex doesn't develop until you're like at least 25.
And you have to make a bunch of mistakes and fall on your face a bunch of times and go out into the world and experience all different kinds of trials and tribulations. But that actually grows your character as a guy. But before then, you don't really get much serious attention unless you're like ridiculously good looking
Builds character.
or unless you have some sort of precocious talent. But that's a disadvantage that we've got.
Going around the table on this though, you said you would not be willing to. You'd rather stay single than settle. So would you rather stay single for the rest of your life than lower your standards or settle?
But I already have the best man I can wish
Well,
for. so-
assuming you were single, right?
Well, before this, I was 8 years single, so I guess I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with an average guy.
And so you would date an average guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like you said, average dates average and
Right.
all of that.
I would date an average guy, yeah.
And then, would you rather stay single than have to lower your standards or settle?
Depends on the situation, really. If it's something that's going to annoy me in the long run, yeah, I would never settle for that. If it's something I can deal with in the long run, yeah, I would settle for that.
Okay. What about you?
I would settle, yeah.
Okay.
I think I would settle. I mean, I feel like in the long run, as long as he's like a great dad to like our kids, I feel like that's all that really matters.
Sure.
But other than that, yeah.
Word. Okay.
I have a question. Can
sure.
an average man be the provider?
It is difficult in this economy, but it's possible though. Depends. If you live rurally, you can. But if you're living in a city or a place like Santa Barbara, then it is nearly impossible. It's a big problem that we've got at the moment.
Wait, you want to get married, right?
Yeah.
You want to have kids? How many kids?
3 to 5.
3 to 5?
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Not 35.
Yeah, 3 to 5. And do you want to continue working while you're like once you start having kids, or what do you? Think?
I want to be a per diem princess. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's like so for nurses you can work full time, which is 3 to 5 days a week, depending on your hours, or you can work like 1 day a week, like a per diem job, where you just kind of work whenever you want to have an income, and like have a social life still, and still have like a normal routine and have like that sense of normalcy.
Word. Okay. Let's go back to the dating app. Dating her is like winning the lottery, gentlemen. All right. Next. Go ahead.
Okay, it says the way to win me over is plan a proper date, be a gentleman, and take me on adventures.
Fuck off.
What's wrong with this?
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Nice dates.
Okay, sorry.
I thought that was the best part of the whole profile.
Next.
The beginning. That's the first picture too, and the first.
Okay, that's the last one for the dating app stuff. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Okay, scale of 0 to 10.
I'd say there's a lot of red flags in that profile.
Oh yeah, the traveling.
The lottery.
The lottery was
Okay.
bad because that's
Take
kind
notes.
of that would scream headaches for me. Entitlement, already putting yourself on a pedestal. I know it's a joke, and
Yeah,
you're just kidding, but also the traveling photos and the
Should I do a picture of
bikini
me
photos
with
on
my
beaches
cat?
around the world. I'd say, have you thought about investing in a burqa?
A burqa?
Yeah,
I have a poncho.
a poncho is the next best thing,
Okay.
and maybe a photo with a poncho.
Oh, or
would
like
be
a
better.
onesie. I have a unicorn onesie.
There you go.
Oh, and then I could be like, this is winning the lottery.
All right.
You're finding your unicorn. Okay,
That would be
there we
better.
go.
Maybe
That would be
you guys
funny.
can-
That would be all right. But yeah, all of the traveling, and then when you say registered nurse and you're traveling a lot, it's like,
Travel nurse is a red flag already. I know.
Wait, you know that?
People always tell me that.
It is a red flag.
Why? What makes it a red flag?
I'll give you a couple reasons. So
it happens in Vegas.
So I think one thing, like let's say there's a relationship-minded guy, but and it sounds like you stay in cities a little longer than other travel nurses. But I remember when I was on dating apps, I'd encounter a lot of nurses. A lot. Like I've dated a lot
so you have a
of
type.
nurses. So not my type, but I've learned. And I've dated local nurses, but then I encountered a lot of these travel nurses. They're in town for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Same with flight
short
attendants,
stints.
yep.
Flight attendant, even worse. The thing is, if she's on a dating app and she's going on dates, she ain't dating people for long, which means what? High body count, promiscuity.
And also, it's a good opportunity for you to be able to do whatever you want and not have the social stigma of your circle back home. Nobody knows about it. Just get away with it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember I was on a date with this travel nurse. I thought she was just a regular nurse. Turns out she's a travel nurse, you know? I mean, it's like
Oh no.
crazy, right? And I'm like, oh, how many cities you been in? And she's like 33. I'm like, oh no, hold on. Oh no.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Oh, no. Just no. Bad.
so did you hook up with her?
And I'm like, am I dude 100? That's what I'm thinking in my brain. Am I dude 100 because you were on Tinder and Hinge and Bumble in the other 33 previous cities? Seattle,
You're not going out
Scottsdale.
for warm hot chocolates.
Washington, D.C., Boston, Fort Lauderdale, Louisiana. Wait, that's a
Why does
state.
that matter,
New
though?
Orleans. Why does what matter?
Why does it matter when you have
Maybe-
someone who travels a lot and
Maybe she's celibate.
dates-
Because typically people who travel a lot, so they don't make any what's the term for it? They don't have, I don't know if it's roots, but like when you stay in one place, you're gonna end up hopefully with a long-term relationship. If you know you're leaving a city in 6 weeks' time, are you gonna date seriously or are you gonna just like date casually? Probably date casually.
Yeah.
You're gonna rack up a high body count. You're gonna have friends with benefits. Even if you date just one guy in one city, it's only going to last a couple weeks, couple months. Then you're in the next city. You've racked up a high body count. High body count is undesirable in women. you are now disqualified.
But why do
my
you look
dear.
at it so negatively, though?
Because
So you could go to a city and go dating. Okay, that's not it. You leave, go to the next city, and then you meet someone who's the love of your life, and you know you're leaving, but you can go back.
You can always take
hold
a
on.
staff job too.
But you're asking kind of two different things. So you're saying, yeah, a woman could sleep with 300 men, and then number 301, that could be the guy she ends up in a relationship with. But from the male perspective, I don't want to date a girl who has 300, 200, 100,
Yeah, but that's you.
50
That's not
bodies. Most
all the
men.
males.
Most men.
Men hear that and they'll be repulsed by that. And if they're not repulsed by that, and if they're willing to accept 100 bodies or more, then they just like their priorities aren't in the right
But
place.
what does traveling have to do with having a high body
Well,
count?
I just explained it.
And
So-
also, if you're on the dating apps as well, when you're traveling and you meet a guy on a dating app, obviously he's going to like insinuates that you've been doing that everywhere. And also, when you're going to new cities, you don't really know anyone, you haven't got any friends. What's the easiest way to hang out with people and have some company? It's to go on dating apps.
Or joining a club,
Yeah, you don't join
getting a
clubs.
hobby.
You're not joining clubs. Give me a break. Have you ever joined a club in a new city?
Yeah, I played
Which
volleyball,
ones?
sand volleyball.
Okay, sure.
So it's the same thing.
Pilates.
Same thing with flight
Chess.
attendants, right? So these flight attendants, it's hard for them to like look. There's different. I've heard from flight attendants. There's different degrees of how frequently they're gone. Here's the thing, right? So there's a couple components.
Oh,
There's
shit.
opportunity. So if you're in a new city and you're on a dating app, a lot of these I've matched with these flight attendants. This is how the messaging goes. Oh, hey, good to meet you. We match on Tinder or Hinge. How long are you in town for? 12 hours. Okay, what does she want from me if she's only in town for 12 hours?
Companionship.
No. What is the
What
only
the-
thing that's on the table with a woman who's in town for 12 hours? Is it a long-term relationship, or does she want to fuck? She wants to fuck.
It could be either one. Maybe she just wants a hug
No.
and someone to talk to.
She's gonna find in her primary city. She's gonna get a relationship in her primary city. If she's on a dating app and she's traveling and she's in fucking Los Angeles, Miami, wherever for 12 hours time, the long-term potential there is next to nil. So if she's on a dating app, unless she's there to fuck.
Yeah, but she can move anywhere, it sounds like. So she could move to you if you guys hit it off on the first date.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So how long is it going to take to get to that point? All the while, she's still on Tinder, she's still on Hinge, she's still on the dating app, and she's in the next city, and she's got hoes in different area codes, literally. She's got a dude she can stay with when she's in New York, a dude she can stay with when she's in Seattle, a dude in LA.
Well, it sounds like a little insecurity because if a man was secure, he'd be like, oh, I know I'm the best thing she's going to get, so maybe she'll just delete her dating apps and won't meet anyone else as good as me.
You're insecure.
How's that work for how's that work for women when it comes to commitment?
What do you mean?
I mean, perhaps, you think most people can operate on this level of, I'm so fucking amazing that immediately this person is going to drop all their other options?
Well, it would depend on.
You've been single
the
for 4
spark.
years. What's kept you from being able to lock down? I'm not saying this to be
A lot of
insulting.
things.
right? But like, so it would appear to me that you yourself, I'm not saying this to attack you, just to kind of use your language here. You're not amazing enough to lock down a man.
I haven't met the right person. I haven't like built a good connection that I would think is strong enough. So I'm saying that like if you met someone that was a flight attendant and you had such an amazing connection, you would maybe have hope that they're not going out there and like dating other people. But you don't know.
Well, so even if I grant that I could meet a flight attendant and she's really cool, whatever, I'm still going to vet her on her past promiscuity. And if she's 30 and she's been a flight attendant for, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, that's a lot of mileage. That's some frequent flyer miles. Frequent pussy miles, you know what I mean?
Maybe she'll give some to you so you can take some flights.
I'd rather not, you know. Look, here's the thing, right? When you travel a lot, there's opportunity. You're not in one, it's harder for you to get a long-term relationship because you don't stay in one city for long, right? So, and this applies to men too. Like men and women who are on the road a lot, whether this means flying, it creates conflict in relationships. Long distance is difficult. Long distance is more difficult. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Long distance is more difficult than just being in the same place as somebody. It introduces issues.
I'm on the road all the time. I live on the road traveling. And yeah, I get quizzed on that regularly. If I'm seeing a girl in a city, she'll be like, oh, well, I mean, is there any hope for this for the future? Because you're just going to be in another city next month. And how do I know you haven't got a girl in the next city? So it's very difficult to be us traveling people.
It's a hard life.
But like, think about it, right? When it comes to you, you're a travel nurse. So in my own anecdotal experience, having encountered a couple travel nurses, I match with them on the dating app. I'm like, how long are you here for? They tell me 6 weeks. They tell me 3 months. If I'm inclined, you know, if a guy's inclined, he's not going to view her as a long-term prospect, right? And even if he did, she's leaving anyways. Mm-hmm. And so what's ultimately going to happen is what's most likely going to happen. As soon as she leaves to her next assignment, she goes to he's on the West Coast, she's on the East Coast, it's going to be the end right then and there. And if she's done that 10, 20, 30 times throughout her career, she's just already racked up a body count on top of what she already did in college, on top of what she's just already going to do before she meets the guy who she's going to be exclusive with for 2 months. She already hooked up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in this new city she's in. So I'm already thinking, okay, no way. No way. Too much traveling, too much bodies.
I think people don't really understand the whole like career aspect of it, because you could be a travel nurse and you could be like considered a local travel nurse, which means you just travel to like hospitals in your city, a few cities away.
How many cities have you been in the past?
5.
5 cities. In the past how many years? 5 years?
3 years, 4 years.
You've been in 5 different cities in 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many men did you date in each of those cities?
I don't have a number.
You can't even remember it, right?
No, I remember. Like seriously dated? I'll go on dates casually, but I haven't dated anyone the entire time that.
Well, you said you've been single for 4 years. Have you been celibate for 4 years?
Not 4 years.
How long have you been celibate for?
About 1.5 years.
Hold on.
Get the button.
No,
You're a fucking liar! You're a fucking liar!
I swear.
You've been celibate for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
You live in Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
You're a fucking liar! You're a fucking liar!
Where? You can ask my roommates, my friends, my family.
Sneaky link?
No sneaky links.
Just
bullshit.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
No.
That is some pretty ass bullshit.
No. I feel like a lot of people in this generation just want to hook up, especially if they see you're a travel nurse. So
Man,
I want something that's like real, and I want to see if someone's willing to wait and put the work in and take me on dates and plan them. And if I have a connection with them, then yeah, I might.
Wait, put the work in?
Yeah, like
What's
planning dates.
How long's it? Wait, so you've been celibate for 1.5
Asking
years.
how I am.
You meet a guy you really like. How long are you waiting until you hook up with him?
It depends on the connection.
Connection's good.
Maybe like 3 to 5 dates.
In the past 4 years, have you gone on 3 to 5 dates with any guys?
I think I made it to like date number 5, and then he was leaving to go out of the country. So
press X to doubt.
And he also had a family that I found out about.
Celibate for 1.5 years?
Might not be the case.
Unfortunately, so.
I often find that they call themselves celibate because they didn't like the guy. But they don't count the guy they met in Boston that one night on Tinder
like,
or on Hinge.
seriously,
went on a date. He doesn't count.
One night stands count, but I haven't had intercourse with a single person.
P in the V?
No, not even the tip.
Good one. Estaba esperando.
How long have you been in LA?
Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Almost a year.
So before that, you were in.
Before that, I was living in Scottsdale.
You said it was like 3 years you've been traveling?
Yeah.
So in like all the other cities, what would you do?
Yeah, I had a few one-night stands. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Oh.
I think that there's nothing wrong. If like you want to hook up with someone, that's your body, it's your choice. Like I feel like sex is a normal thing. and like you release a lot of like serotonin, dopamine. It makes people feel happy, but also it's like an energy exchange.
Just a couple questions on this. Are you religious at all? Just curious.
I'm spiritual.
Spiritual. You said you've had a couple one-night stands more recently, or because you said you
Obviously
went to
not
Scottsdale.
recently.
Well, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you had
Yeah.
some one-night stands here and there, and then like you went to college, maybe some hookups in college.
Yeah, mostly just like college and then after graduation.
Question for you: what is the quickest
man,
from
that
like
makes up
first
so
meeting
fucking hard to
to
get.
it's going down?
5 minutes. No, I'm
Shit.
kidding.
How quick? An hour, 30 minutes,
Definitely a few hours.
a couple hours.
Yeah,
but same
because I
night.
want to like talk to someone and see who they are.
Okay. So, can you pull up her dating app profile again? The last prompt. So, the way to win me over is plan a proper date, be a gentleman, and take me on adventures. And then, in addition to that, you also just said now how you want to you'd wait 3 to 5 dates depending on the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, why the switch up though? Because you said you've had one night stands.
Yeah, I think I had that phase in my life where it was fun and casual, but now I'm looking for something more serious, and I feel like guys take you more seriously when you tell them that information. What do you guys think?
I think you should convey that better on your profile.
I should say I'm
the
celibate?
serious stuff. Maybe just look a little bit more modest and not like the whole traveling thing, and just look like you're looking. Because when I see that profile, I think recreational use only. No, nothing serious.
Okay. That's a funny term. I like that.
I don't like the.
I'm gonna put that in my caption: recreational use only.
I don't like the recreational use only.
Well, I mean,
like it's like
I wouldn't do it personally.
Oh,
but
right,
I'm saying
that's-
when you put people into categories on dating apps, and I'd say that just through the photos and through the bio, it'd be like, maybe signifying just having a bit of fun in a new city, have a few dates.
Yeah, but if I go on the date, then I would like open up and.
Yeah, but guys, we read into this stuff. You guys read into it a lot more than we do, but we still read into it.
Oh, I really don't. I just like power swipe until I find someone to talk to.
Power swipe. Do you enjoy any like luxury goods at all, like purses or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, they're nice.
Do you have a nice purse?
Yeah, but it's fake.
Oh.
We don't know that.
So no,
what's the most you've spent on like either some sort of jewelry or a purse or anything?
I mean, mostly just like clothes, probably like $200 or $300.
Like some nice shoes or something.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with shoes. Are what are they? Louis Vuittons? Are they
Christian
Louis Vuittons?
Louboutins?
Are those still like cool shoes? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, so the question, I guess, for you is, would you feel kind of ripped off if you went to go get some Louis Vuittons and you spent, I don't know how much, let's say it's $1,000, and then the very next day, one of your girlfriends goes to the same store, and the store sold her the exact same shoes that you bought for $100. Would you feel like ripped off
Yeah,
a little
for
bit?
sure.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's how men feel when women previously gave out sex super easy, like one night stands, casual sex, whatever. And then now that you've had your fun, now that you're looking for something serious now you're gonna make these new guys wait a couple dates. They gotta do all this investing. They gotta pay for dates. They gotta be a gentleman. They gotta take you on an adventure. Who knows what that means? Maybe that's like they gotta take you on a trip somewhere before you're gonna give it up, right?
Yeah,
and it's like weird. It's kind of crazy. It's like it feels like a ripoff almost. Like, why do I gotta do all this shit when that guy at the club that didn't take you on a date, wasn't really even a gentleman, he got to hit within 3 hours, but why do I, the guy you think you want a relationship with, why do I gotta wait 3 weeks?
Because I'm a better person now. I have more knowledge, more mature.
Is that what you mean
respect
by
myself
adventures?
more.
Trips?
Huh?
By adventures?
No, I
do
feel
you-
like you could have an adventure just like sitting at home, going to the beach. Like you can have local adventures, just like making life
So
fun.
just going for a walk?
Yeah, that could be an adventure. Going to the playground, swinging,
That's kind of
going
fun.
on the spinny thing.
I think it's it's kind of a raw deal from it. So I mean, essentially, do you promise that you will never have a one night stand again?
I can't necessarily say that.
See,
because I'm never say never.
But that's what's so confusing. Women will say, for example, you even said it here. Well, that's in the past. Now I have higher standards. I want more. I want a relationship. But you're not even still ruling out the possibility of having a one night stand. So imagine like.
I mean, I'm just not gonna lie about it and be like, oh, I'm never going to, because I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind when if I'm 40
But
and single.
this is even
Maybe I
like
wanna get laid.
this is sure, but this is like another layer of like the rip off component here. It's like it's one thing, I suppose, for a woman to okay, well, I was in college, I had a string of hookups, but now I'm looking for a relationship. Still object to it. I mean, look, you can do it. I still think men are getting ripped off. But then to say, like, imagine as a guy, the last guy she hooked up with before you, she fucked him within an hour, and then you come along, and then she makes you wait 3 months. She's like, no, baby, I want something serious. I want it to mean something. You got to work for this pussy. You got to take me on dates. You got to pay for dates. You got to do adventures, blah, 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 whatever. Then you date her first. You get the pussy. You date her for 6 months. You break up. The next guy she gets into a relationship, she fucks the same day she meets him. It's like, what are your values
It just
exactly?
sounds like this is situational. Because
But
that's not.
it's
my
like
case.
you're trying to feign chastity. Like you're trying to It's like you're playing a game. You're trying to leverage sex for something.
I'm not trying to leverage it. I just want to build a deeper connection because, like, when you have sex with someone, you are building a connection based on, you know, emotions and physicality. When I want to build like a deeper emotional, intellectual connection.
But that's fine to want that. But let's say the guy that you want a relationship with, he wants to have sex on the first date. Do you tell him no?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though. Okay. I mean, look, you're totally fine to do that.
My body, my choice.
Right. That's cool.
Same
My
as
wallet,
everyone
my
else.
choice.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's fair.
But that's fine. Look, as a woman, you could have had sex with 100 men within 5 minutes of meeting them, and man number 101, you could look at him, and you're not even religious. You could say, you have to wait until marriage.
Get serious! Round 1, fight!
To fuck me. Women are 100% within their right to do that. What I'm advising is that men look at a woman like that and say, that's a raw fucking deal. I ain't dealing with you. That's a raw deal.
So my chances of finding my soulmate is
No, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's kind of like, okay, here's an analogy, right? You're at McDonald's. Wait, who dated the McDonald's? Who was the person? Oh, that was her. Okay, you're at McDonald's. Okay,
The McDonald's fuckboy.
You're at McDonald's. There's 7 people in front of you, and there's 7 people in front of you in line at McDonald's. They all order a hamburger. They get charged $1 for the hamburger. You finally get to the front of the line. You ask for a hamburger, and the cashier says, it'll be $100 for you for the hamburger. You'll be like,
supply and demand.
well, hold on, no. But here's the funny thing. There's 10 people behind you, and then as soon as you pay the $100, the 10 people behind you, they then get the burger for $1. Would you feel ripped off?
1,000%.
And that's how men feel.
But is the
That's how
burger
men
better?
feel.
You don't
Is
give
it
that burger.
better though? Are all the burgers the same?
Yeah, this burger's the exact same.
But I don't think all
The
people are
$100
same.
burger, it's a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, but in
Like, you know that shit
relationships,
ain't
not every
good.
relationship is the same. Like everyone you date is different.
Well, yeah, but like what you're offering to all those men,
Is the same.
like it's gonna be the same,
same
because it's
burger.
you. You're the same.
Oh,
You stay
what
the
I'm
same.
offering them my burgers.
In fact, you could even make the argument that
The burger gets worse over time.
as you know,
As
look,
I age.
as people age,
The
they
buns
get
get
less
saggy.
attractive. It's just a reality of aging. But the other thing is you've accrued relationship baggage. You've accrued trauma from your past relationships. You're going to bring that into your new relationship. Who knows? Maybe you've gotten, who knows what you could have gotten. But I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Look, you're free to do it. I'm just advising men to be like, you're leveraging sex against me. I want a woman who has, Jake said this on Sunday, as a guy, you want a woman who has, what is it, burning desire? Is that the
Genuine burning desire.
Genuine burning desire. It's like, okay, why? It's like you reward the fuckboys, jerks, assholes, the men who would arguably be the least deserving of sex. You give them the sex super easy, same night. They don't have to do anything for it. And then the guy that arguably is the most deserving of sex. He has to wait. He has to put in the good work. He has to chase the carrot on the stick like a good little simp worker boy. A little. What are the ants called? The little drones or whatever. Like a good little drone. You put in 5 first dates and you pay for the date and you're a little. Give me that ass out hug and a kiss on the cheek on the first date. You have to wait.
Patience is a virtue. Oh, I have a question for you guys. Okay, would you marry a girl that you fuck on the first date?
Well, I don't want to get married, but yeah, yes. Yeah, so I'll tell you about, I've not been married, but I've had multiple long-term relationships, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. The rapidity, the quickness with which I sleep with a girl is kind of ultimately irrelevant. It can be an indicator for potential promiscuity. It can be a red flag, but not necessarily. I think there's actually far greater red flags than that. Of all my long-term relationships, it was like first, second, or third date. It wasn't like, let's wait 3 months. 60, what are some of the terms the girls will say? 60-day policy, or what is it, 30 day? 90-day policy, or what do they say?
It's like, I don't know, it's just like 90 days, and if he's still
90-day rule, 60-day rule.
Yeah.
It's like, no, none of my things. In fact, all the girls that like made me wait, I just dipped, really.
Like once you got it, you just dipped?
No, like if they just continue to make me wait, and I'm like, it's one thing if she's a virgin or has a low body count, and her standard for waiting has been the standard that she's equally and equitably applied to all her previous partners. But if you've had 10 one-night stands, you had a one-night stand 3 months ago, your values have not sufficiently changed for me to believe that this isn't an act, and that you're just not leveraging this to get something from me.
I just wouldn't believe them as well. Like, you don't have the evidence. If they've had a certain past and they say, like you've said, oh, I've been celibate for 1.5 years, I couldn't prove that. I just wouldn't believe it.
Why do you guys look into it so much, though? It's kind of funny. I feel like you're making drama where there's none. I feel like you're looking into it way more than you should. It kind of sounds like, oh, she did this, so that means probably this, so that means this, so I feel this. So it's kind of
men are more logical when we think about these sorts of things, and past promiscuity is an indicator for divorce. They've done studies on this, and they show that as a woman's body count goes up, 5, 10, they become exponentially more likely to end a marriage.
So what about men? Men can be promiscuous?
It affects them less, definitely.
So what's like an average number for a guy to have?
Like 5 to 8. I think that's about
5 to 8 is low. That's not promiscuous.
Yeah, I know. But
over your whole life.
But a lot of guys, that's where they sit. Yeah.
But like 5 to 8.
You ask what the average is. That's about the average. Yeah.
Like legit, that's a fact.
Well, you'd be surprised to know that most guys are out there at the moment get 0 sexual attention. Yeah. A lot of guys in their 20s even have been celibate for a whole year. A big percentage of people. So that would be about the average.
I'm just really curious, and I want to ask like all the girls here. Is like the mindset that you guys have, is that normal here, or is that like? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like in America.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to know that because it seems so. Like you said, like you think we're brainwashed, but it's funny because I think we think the same thing about you guys.
Well, and then you're from Australia, and you.
Australia, it's pretty bad too, in terms of like the liberal sort of mindset, happy wife, happy life type stuff. But you just have to look at the fruits of it, and I think that there is an objective truth about this. It's that people who have lower body counts going into marriage are much more likely to have a long and successful marriage.
It's just fascinating that that's so important.
Well, do you think it's important when you're going into spending the rest of your life with somebody and having them mother your children that you should be looking into these things?
Absolutely not. No, I don't mind if my guy slept with 10 or 1,000.
I'm speaking more as a guy, looking into the past of a woman.
I've never been asked about body count or anything like that, so it's just very fascinating to hear that side of things.
Well, like I said before, you can actually look at the fruits of it, and you can. This is actually borne out by stats as well to show that women who have a higher body count are much more likely to get divorced, and so they make for bad partners. So guys need to be looking into this stuff. If you want to have a logical analysis of the person that you're about to spend your life with,
sleeping with people does not make you any type of worse. Relationship.
Erroneous.
Do you think that if you sleep with 1,000 people in a year, that makes you a worse partner?
I think it actually says nothing about you, except that your libido might be quite high. Otherwise, you wouldn't be.
That would make you a total whore if you sleep with 1,000 people in a year, and it says a lot about your character. It says a lot about how you value yourself, and it would say a lot about what kind of a partner you'd be as well, what kind of a wife you'd be, and how you value sex. Because sex is actually important. It's not just something that we can do and just never think about again.
It's so human. It's so natural. So I don't see why it would matter.
You think it's natural to have sex with lots of different people?
Oh yeah, that's where we come from. So yeah.
Wait, so do you think body count doesn't matter?
Absolutely not. It does not matter at all.
What's your body count?
I don't know. I knew you were going to ask this question. I thought about it, but I have no idea. I never counted.
Well, I don't need like an exact 53. I don't need an exact number. Give us a range.
I don't know. I'd say 50 if I have to guess.
More than 100?
No, I don't think so. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Well, you don't care about body count, right?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't care about a man who slept with.
I prefer a man who has
I think
more...
a lot of women, like if they knew that a man slept with like 10,000 women, they maybe get a bit of an ick.
No, I prefer a guy who slept with more women because then they know what they're doing and they're experienced. So I actually prefer that.
Are they?
Are they more experienced? Or what is your question?
Well, I don't know. I don't get this whole like, you need to sleep with a lot of people to either become good at sex or get experienced at sex. You could actually make the argument that a woman who's had, for example, 20 one-night stands, and that's it, versus a woman who's had 1 or 2 boyfriends and has slept with them dozens or hundreds of times.
Yeah, everybody's different,
She's
though.
probably going to be better in bed than the woman who's had 20, 30, 40, 50 one-night stands.
Actually,
That's not true.
It's not true?
No, it's not true.
But
Everybody is different, and also the communication style is different. Some people have
You're
fetishes,
right,
some people
but I
don't.
could just use that same argument. You said everybody's different. You're right. So the woman who's had 1 boyfriend, who's had sex with him a ton, she is different. She's going to be better in bed than the girl who slept with 20 men 1 time each.
I think it depends what you mean by better in bed, though. I don't think the girls who are really promiscuous are good in bed. I find that they're actually a lot worse. Depends what you want by sex, and it's kind of unattractive when a girl's really promiscuous and she's just there to get her rocks off. And it doesn't really mean anything to her. It's not this important thing, because if it's really important and it's really special for her, then that's actually a very attractive thing. But if she's just there to sort of have an orgasm, that's kind of gross.
Okay, yeah, that's just crazy
Well,
to me.
there's also a really big differential here between sexual performance between men and women. You could make the argument that the man who's sexually experienced is going to be better in bed. I'm not sure if this equally applies to women, though. First off, typically women are going, unless the woman takes on a more dominant role in the sexual encounter. I would argue that so long as a woman is open-minded and enthusiastic, that's all it takes to have good sex with her. I'm not so sure if a woman's encountering a male virgin that she's going to have amazing sex guaranteed with a male virgin. But a man who has some degree of experience in the bedroom can take an inexperienced woman when it comes to sex, or even a woman who has no experience, and have amazing sex with her.
I think feeling has a lot to do with it, but
Feeling?
Yeah, like the passion you put into it, like when meeting with
No,
someone.
she could even be a little nervous or shy.
That's gonna be bad.
No,
but if that's the first time, then
that's not the case. Not the case at all. If she's nervous and shy and it means a lot to her, then that's attractive, because she hasn't given it out to a bunch of different guys.
is it like a kind of like a holy grail for you, kind of?
It's kind of think about it like a golden ticket, You know,
All right, yeah, makes
giving the
sense.
golden ticket away to everyone. And if it means a lot to her, that's a very attractive thing. If she's passionate enough about you, and if it's a big deal for her, it's a good thing. If it's just nothing for her, that's really unattractive.
Also, what is actually wrong with something being special to somebody? Like, do you, as a girl, do you really want to be pussy number 130? Really? Like, you're just pussy 132?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Okay, well, you're an outlier. I feel like most women, look, maybe you want a guy with a bit more sexual experience, whatever, maybe you don't, doesn't really matter. Don't you still, perhaps in the relationship, want to be special to him? And then men, we want to be special to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be dick number 57.
But being special has
I
nothing
don't want to be
to
dick
do.
number 57.
Being special has nothing to do with sex. I see that very
Yes, it
separately.
does.
Yeah, I think that's a clash here.
Well,
For
do you think
for
sex
me, like,
is a
having
special
sex
thing?
is having sex. I said it on Dutch television. Having sex is the same as going to a theme park for me. You go out, you have fun, and then you go back home.
Was this fucking Six Flags?
I'd say
Six cocks. Six cocks. What the fuck?
Yeah, but like I think
stand by that.
most guys who are self-respecting would look at that and think, oh, you're just completely desensitized to sex, and that's a very unattractive thing, to be desensitized like that.
All right, yeah. I understand where you're coming from now, more than what I did. Like the golden ticket, yeah, that makes sense.
Also, sex is not like a complicated procedure. Like, it's not this complicated operation.
Yeah, that's why
You know
I
what
say
I mean?
you go have
I
fun, and then it's done, and then so that's why, yeah, for me.
But like, you're saying like the quality of the sex. Like, oh, if she hasn't fucked 30 guys, then the sex is going to be really bad with her. I mean, the reality is though, first off, women look to men to be leaders and to be dominant. Not always. Some people like different kind of dynamics in a relationship. But as a guy, if you know what you're doing in bed, you can take a girl who's never had sex and have really good sex with her if you know how to lead sexually, right? I don't know if this is the case for women. I don't think women would be turned on by having to teach a guy how to fuck them. So there's a differential there. But as a guy, I would have no problem like helping the woman along if she's not that sexually experienced. In fact, there could be some like excitement component to that. It's like the girl who's like, I've never done this before, and she like immediately like cluck 9,000 or whatever. Like, hold up, what the fuck? You've never done this before? Hold on just a second. But
do you think it's cute? Is that also a factor in it?
What do
When
you
she's
mean?
like a little shy and doesn't really know what's
I do think that there is something attractive about that. Yeah.
And it also just shows morals and virtue as well, if it's something that you take seriously. And then if you take something really seriously, it's really important to you, and then you give that to somebody, it shows that they're giving you something really important and means a lot to them. It means more than just having just random, bodies whacking together. So.
Also, I don't know if it's like the same for women, but like, let's say she is not the Again, though, if you're a guy and you know what you're doing, you can go ahead and first time having sex with a girl, you can have good sex with her. You can continue having really good sex with her, even if she's a virgin, even if she's unexperienced. If you know how to lead and you know what you're doing, and you know how to be even like a percentage, I guess, to some degree dominant or leading in the bedroom. But shit, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Something about like experience or whatever, being good in bed. Kind of slipped my mind. What I was going to say was, maybe it's a deal breaker for a girl, like if a guy is bad in bed the first time. Like, I would give a girl a lot of leeway, especially if she genuinely was inexperienced. I'd be like, hey, I care more about just the sex with you. This is something we can work on. If it takes a couple weeks, months, whatever. Like, I'm gonna be spending hours hanging out with you. We're gonna like do things besides just sex. Like, you know,
I don't care at all if she's. I'd much prefer if she's really inexperienced. Like that's much better for sure. Like virgin would be ideal, and then you can just develop together, rather than someone who's really experienced.
Also, I think what I was going to get at here is the differential in sexual performance between men and women. So it's really hard as a woman to fuck up sex. I think. Like, you don't really gotta do much. Why are you laughing, Selena? You doing all this extra shit, Selena? Doing some fucking backwards Kama Sutra shit? Look, it's really not that hard. Doggy style, arch your back a bit, you're fucking good. Get on top.
I mean, it's true.
I like to do work from the bottom. If she's on top, you don't have to do anything, just fucking stay there. What else? I mean, look, it's really not that complicated. Why am I getting Italian here? Trump. But also, here's a big difference, right? I've asked this question before. So, question for you ladies. Or how do I frame this? Question. Okay, here's the question, right? And if you guys need an earmuff, any of you need an earmuff, do you think you could get yourself off without rubbing yourself? The guy just laid there, and he was just hard. Do you think you could get yourself off?
No.
Could you climax? Could you orgasm?
Wait, when he is starfishing, but you can't sit on top of him or not?
You could be on top.
And he's not doing anything, but he does have a hard on.
Can you climax? The guy is just laying there.
Why not?
Well, I'm just asking.
I mean, you can. It's just harder. Like, it takes more time.
I mean, women's orgasm response is pretty varied, but like, could you? You can't rub your clit. He's not rubbing your clit.
It would take forever.
No, he has an erection, and he's not thrusting or moving. Can you get yourself off? Some women can, but can you get yourself
I'm
off?
confused on what's happening.
Okay, here. All right, here's the.
If the dude is a sex doll, could you just like
I have to
do all the work?
So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the scenario. Either he's laying down, so you would be on top, or he's standing up and you'd be in like doggy or something. But he's not thrusting, he's not moving at all. He's got a stiffy. Can you get yourself off?
It's inside of me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But you said you cannot touch yourself.
Can't rub your clit.
Then I don't think so.
Okay.
Yes, if there's eye contact.
Okay.
That's right. Really important.
I'll allow it. I'll allow the eye contact.
I mean, it would be really hard to do it.
Okay.
To be honest.
What about you?
No.
Can I skip?
Sure, I guess, Maddie, if you want
But
to.
I feel like I agree that you probably
But
can't.
like also sex is about like chemistry. So like if there's no chemistry and the dude isn't putting in effort, I'm not turned on by that. Like that's just like
Okay,
you know?
I guess the reason I asked this question is that women have not always, but have a more complex sexual response here. So some women can't come from penetrative sex. Some women have more difficulty than others when it comes to climaxing. And then some be like coming like 20 times in a row within 10 seconds each, you know?
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head like that? Okay.
No, yeah.
So where am I going with this?
You were saying how like it's hard or it's not that hard for.
Well, I think the
women
point I'm trying to make is women will care far more about sexual performance and like project this on men to some degree, because as a guy, you could lay there, you could just be in doggy position and not moving at all, and like 99% of men can climax that way. I don't even know if it's 50% of women who could climax without like the guy just having a stiffy. Mm-hmm. Am I making sense here? I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's definitely more complex for women.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like anatomy?
Yeah, I mean that's biological though. That's just anatomy. But yeah. Anyways, there's more important things. Oh, but I guess this all stems from like, well, a woman who's had more sexual partners, she's going to be better in bed, more experienced. One, I'm not sure if that's even true because, like we already said, she could have had one or two long-term boyfriends, had plenty of sexual experience. But then the other thing is, I'm not sure if guys really even care. Like, what are you gonna like? I don't know. It's not this complicated procedure. You know what I mean?
It
Just
makes
getting
sense,
doggy style archer back, you're good. That's it.
But still, you don't want to have someone in bed who is like really bad.
What do you mean? Hold on, ladies. This is all, like, look, there's varying degrees. Ladies, this is all you got to do. Get in doggy position, archer back. That's fucking it. That's
lame.
it. That's it. No, but that's all you got to do. And the guy will have great sex.
Yeah, but
that's it.
that's a one-sided thing because like I'm sitting there bored, like you're not doing
Oh,
anything.
well, okay. But the argument here is, doesn't a guy care about a woman's experience so that she can give him good sex? Right? That's the argument.
I feel like a lot of guys don't care. They just want to get off.
Well, I want my girl to come like 50 times.
But like a lot of
beforehand,
guys
you know what I
don't
mean?
feel that way. I feel like
She's
they
got.
don't care.
Here's my rule. She's got to come before me, preferably more than once, if she can do that. But not all girls can do that shit.
I don't know.
what
I feel like a lot of
that.
dudes don't care. To be
Wait, what do you
honest.
mean?
Just kidding.
Well, yeah. You mean like guys can
You
come
said
multiple
no,
times?
girl should. And you, that's
What?
what maybe you didn't make her come multiple times.
Like satisfy her?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm just kidding though.
oh, I mean, I'm not offended or anything. I'm just saying. I mean, women. It's crazy though. Women have really varied orgasm response. Like really varied. Some women, they can maybe come one time. That's it. And it's going to take you 30 minutes with a lot of work. Other women, they're what would be the equivalent of a 2-pump chump?
2-pump chump. What is
Bro,
that?
some women have you penetrate and they've already started coming.
Is that real?
One
Yes.
penetrate squirt.
That's real.
I feel like that would only happen if you like didn't have sex for like 10 years
No.
and you were just like so horny. Like
Okay, so I don't know, Jake, if you've encountered this. I don't know if you need
no,
to hear
but
about
like,
this.
what if they were pretending?
No,
What if they were
there's
lying?
evidence. There's evidence.
But
That's so much more rare than the
That's-
opposite, though.
It is relatively more rare, but like there are women who they'll come within 5 seconds and then they'll come again 10 seconds later, 10 seconds later, 10 seconds later, 10 seconds later.
that sounds like a curse. That sounds horrible.
I've encountered a few. Oh shit, I've given intel on my body count.
Exposed, high body count, no value.
Fucking hold on,
Exposed.
play this
Yeah, what's
shit.
your body count?
What's your body count?
Just kidding, I'm kidding.
Oh, here it comes. I'm dead.
I'm just kidding. I am a virgin. Just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
Just kidding. Let's see. You guys haven't heard about this? Jake, have you?
That's like a curse. I would hate that because like you can't enjoy
no,
it.
they don't hate it.
But like it would hurt after a while. Like if you came so many times in a row, like that would hurt after a while.
They
Like-
get used to it.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Okay, let's see. We have some reacts possibly, do we? Oh, let me read a couple chats first. Let's see here. I'll pull that back up, Davon. Good timing, man. Good to see you in the chat, man. Maddie, can you read it?
As a man, if you need a woman to do flips on it, you watch entirely too much prawn. Simply being fit, wet, enthusiastic, and vocal will get most men off. It's extremely difficult to turn a man off.
100% true.
Pussy's kind of like pizza.
Oh God.
There's different flavors.
Even bad pizza is still good. Pizza? Wait, what the fuck?
But if you ever
Wait,
had
how does the saying go? I don't know what kind of like pussy you've been getting, Desmond, but I don't think I've like.
Have you ever had a 7-Eleven pizza? 7-Eleven pizza?
Wait, hold on.
It's bad.
Have I had bad sex?
Yeah. There is
Rare.
such thing, but like
Rare. But it was more so because she, like, not because of the pussy. It was because she was just kind of being annoying.
Yeah.
She was like, "Is it in yet?"
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's an attitude thing, I think. If you
I
have
wrote
bad
this
sex, normally an
down
attitude thing.
It definitely is. Wait, let me find my notes about the
Well,
pizza.
then why would you have sex if like the attitude is so bad?
Sometimes you don't find out until it's too late.
What? That makes no sense. You would know that before.
Like, why is she giving attitude during it?
That'd be kind of funny though, to be honest.
Oh, here's the saying. Okay, this is how the saying goes. Sex is a lot like pizza. When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's still pretty good. For guys. For girls,
It's horrible.
if the sex is
It's
bad,
like, get away from
this is for guys. Yeah, for girls, if the sex is bad, that shit's bad.
It's horrible.
It's like, is this over yet? God. Wait,
Yeah.
Jake, have you ever faked orgasm?
No.
I've never faked.
No, I couldn't.
How
do
would you
myself.
fake it? You just spray lotion.
Oh, you
It's like, wait, hold on.
you could have a condom on and pretend.
Yeah, just
But when she see it in there,
I don't know. You can hide it.
just like throw it away real quick.
something like that.
But girls who say they're really good in bed, whenever I hear a girl say it, I'm like, what are you doing that's so different? Yeah? What are you doing that's so special? Maybe there is someone who's just incredible out there, but it's not going to be that different.
Does it make you want to find out or like a turn on?
No, I don't really care.
I actually don't hear. I don't hear girls saying, "I'm really good at sex." It's always about the BJ. I get
Well,
good at it.
that's the thing that really does vary.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that is
You need practice.
There's gradients to that.
Yeah, you gotta have experience to give a good BJ.
But you could have got that experience from one guy.
Yeah, you can learn. It's quite easy to learn.
Are you
Not-
It depends what size of the dick is.
Not all BJs are created.
Hail and well met. Lol Paladins donated $200.02. She was being annoying. Did you have to cover her mouth up to get her to stop talking, Brixton? I know that feeling.
I don't even remember what it was. The pussy was still good. It was just, she's kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Like right before she had sex, she was like at my place and she's like, "Did you not put the seat down for me?" I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Well, then why would you like have sex with her? That's
I'm
like
not gonna
using
let
her.
a toilet seat get between me and some pussy, son. You think I'm gonna let a toilet seat conversation? I'm gonna grit my teeth.
I guess.
I'm gonna grit my teeth and get the pussy.
If a dude pissed me off that bad, I would not have sex with him.
It was my place. I left the toilet seat up. She's like, "Oh, that's very rude of you in your own place to not put the toilet seat down for." I was like, "Oh my god." Let's have
So
sex.
she wasn't annoyed. She just made like one comment, and you're like, "Total bitch."
Oh, are you not familiar with this podcast? Okay, that was a
He
bad
gets
one.
annoyed at
I get
everything.
I get easily
Triggered.
I get triggered.
Triggered.
I'm a snowflake.
Triggered.
I'm a woke,
that is true.
I'm a woke snowflake. Let's see. Okay, let's get into. We got to get to the notes finally, but first, Madison, do the favors.
Stifler asks, ask everyone to rate their looks, total/face/body on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't pick 7.
Hail and well met.
We'll get right to
Lol
that.
Paladins donated $200.02. Weird. Desiree was just telling a story about a toilet seat too.
Oh, Lol Paladins, good to see you in the chat, man. No, not that kind of story, but yeah. Anyways, so Stifler, starting with you.
I have to rate my looks, my total face and body, but I can't say 7.
Yeah,
So I have to give 3 scores or all in total?
3.
Not sure. 8, 6. So total, can I say 6.5?
Oh, so you're saying 8 for face, 6 for body, so it'd be 7
Yeah,
total.
yeah.
Okay. I
That's still
suppose-
7.
I suppose
Sorry.
that's fine. What about you?
Can I just do one for the overall average?
Sure.
I have to rate every single thing.
Well, what do you do total?
I would say maybe like an 8.
Okay, and then face body?
Oh, that's that one. That's one category.
Well,
Or
separate.
Oh,
So
okay. Face. I feel like I need a mirror to look at myself in the face now. We'll just say 8s all around.
okay. What about you?
I think 6.5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, for everything.
Okay.
I'll just do an 8 in total. 10 body, 6 face. 8.
All right.
I think for my face, an 8. Body, I would say maybe like a 4 because I'm just small. And yeah, but the total,
Wait,
what would that be?
Your ranking is because you're small?
Yeah, like I'm not like curvy,
Oh.
you know?
Well, I think a lot of guys like petite women, so.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Well, I'm
over there
Latina,
shaking
so
your head.
a lot of like the guys, you know, back at home, they prefer like
When you say back at home, do you mean Mexico?
no.
Oh shit, my bad.
like,
I thought she said back at home.
no,
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
What's
But,
going on?
like,
What?
Well, like
so you're saying like
the people I surround myself out there are usually Latinos too.
and they like a thick.
Yeah, like they
like a
expect-
gordita. Wait, what are they? What's it
They
called?
call them pan dulce actually.
What's the term for like tortas?
Tortas.
They like tortas.
Okay, no, because that's like
bigger fat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They,
Yeah.
they like curvy. Like
Yeah,
a
like they
curvy,
like
like a
curvy.
thicky
Yeah,
Latina
like-
woman.
yeah.
That's in Bakersfield. What about here in Santa Barbara? What are they like? Still thicky?
I also like pan dulce. I also like pan
Barbara?
dulce.
Santa Barbara. That's a lot of surfer boys.
Well,
Little
yeah.
white boy, surfer boy, skater boy.
No, I definitely think people here are a lot more like they don't really care about the body as much. But
Erroneous! Erroneous!
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
But since I do go to UCSB, and like you said,
Yeah.
when you were younger, you'd go out, like no one, like I don't know, no one cares. Like everyone
What's
here is
true?
just like trying to do things, you know?
When you say nobody cares, like,
No one cares how you look.
oh, they're just trying to.
They're just trying to fuck.
hit.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or?
No, that's a bad thing.
But it's like they don't care how you look and they want to fuck, or they do care how you look and they still want to fuck. So wouldn't it be better that they, if that's what they want, wouldn't it be better they don't care what you look like? Because then you can, I don't know where I'm going.
No,
with
because
that.
then they have a higher body count if they don't care.
I feel like most
But they're
dudes don't
still
care.
they're still fucking no matter
But they're
what.
they're
yeah.
equal opportunity dick slangers. Like they'll still hit, right?
You think that's better?
But if that's what the girls are after too, isn't it good for the girl to? I don't know.
I mean, if the girl's after it, then I mean, yeah, I guess it's better. But like,
I feel like the guys don't care. The guys don't care, but the girls do.
About looks. That's actually a very astute observation, Madison. Well put.
Like even just like interviewing, walking around, I see like.
See what?
Like. Guys with really ugly girls. Not to like be like not a girl's girl, but.
Wait, Maddie, do you remember that first night we went out? And like this might come off as like kind of sus or whatever, but I was like, there were a lot of good-looking dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're
a lot of good-looking dudes. I'm like, whoa, holy shit, dude.
That's what I'm saying. The guys don't care out here.
Well, that's the thing, because like I feel like with girls, they're like, well, if I'm gonna hook up, he better be really fucking hot. He better be hot.
Yeah.
But like for guys, it's like, I'm trying to get some pussy.
Like you said, pussy's pussy.
You know what I mean?
The guys just don't care.
I mean, it's true. It's true. Wait, okay, so rating anyways? I think you said
yeah, like
4 body, really? Okay.
4 for the body, but 8 for the face. So
all right.
I don't know.
6, I guess, average. Okay.
Yeah.
M dog.
6 face, 8 body, total 7. Even though we can't pick 7, that's just.
Jake Reynolds.
I'll go 6s all round.
6s all round. Y dog.
Never been called that. Yeah, probably just 6 all around.
Oh, okay. I give myself. Shit. Hold on. Total 5. Oh, the math's not gonna math here. Face 5, body 4. I got a dad bod. I gotta lose the dad bod boys.
You're almost down to a 4, bro.
What's that? I know, dude. It's bad.
That's
body shame me, dude.
Yeah, it's a 4.5. You were a 6 once upon a time.
I was once a 6. Now I'm downgraded.
Did you turn it around for them with the camera?
The dumpy? Yeah, they keep asking to see it. Never. But anyways, and related to this question, thank you, Stifler. Also, really quick, normally we don't read these, but Brian, God made, just because I read it, I thought it was interesting. God made it where women don't need to get off to reproduce. So if God doesn't care, why should we? I just thought I was below the threshold, but thought it was funny. Maybe that. What do you guys think about that? Even God doesn't care. Okay, all right.
it's just kind of an asshole comment, whatever. He's an asshole.
So going around the table, do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time? Better looking in 10 years' time?
Potentially. Have more money. I could get Botox, plastic surgery. I could get bigger boobs.
So,
I don't necessarily want to, but like.
If you, let's say you didn't get any of that though, do you think you, in 10 years' time, so you're 27, at 37, will you be better looking?
No.
Okay.
Maybe
and then,
like 5.
And then you're 27 now. Are you better looking now at 27 than you were at 18?
I think so, yes. I was a very late bloomer.
Okay. And then I would actually argue though, I'm not even sure. Like,
18?
No. I guess when it comes to you being 37, and you said, well, 37, I could get like, if I had money, I could get plastic surgery and Botox. I'm not even sure, like 37 you without plastic surgery versus 37 you with plastic surgery. Maybe this is just my own aesthetic taste. I think you'd be better looking at 37 without the plastic surgery than with it. And this applies for any woman who has plastic surgery.
You've seen like Cher, who's like 70, and she has like the most insane amount of plastic surgery, and she looks like not even a real human being. It's like so scary.
I have not seen Cher recently, but
Donatella,
I'll take it. Oh, Donatella. That looks kind of creepy. The only thing that I actually will concede on when it comes to plastic surgery making a woman more attractive is nose job. I've seen some of these like transformation videos. It's actually quite astounding, like what your nose does to your facial aesthetics. But that's different though, because a nose job can make your nose look like a normal nose, whereas all these other procedures, like lip filler, you can tell, Botox, you can tell, maybe not always, but you can tell, fake tits, you can tell, BBL, you can tell, lipo, you can tell. You know? So, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like the fake.
You can also just get like better skincare treatments.
But assuming your skincare is just as good at 27 as it is at 37, you'd agree that you are not going to be, not you, but like people in general are not going to be as good looking due to aging in 10 years' time.
No, because if you're like working out and like staying fit and maintaining a healthy diet and lifestyle, you could be more beautiful.
What if you have that at your current age though? Are you like?
As long as you're continuing that.
Well, let me ask you a question on the fitness thing. So you're 27. I mean, I haven't really looked at you all that much, but I mean, you seem like you have a healthy body fat percentage, whatever. I mean, do you think there are such significant things you can do when it comes to your fitness that you would be more attractive at 37 than you are now at 27?
Maybe not super significantly, but I could just work out more.
Sure. Going around the table, better looking in 10 years' time?
If I manage to lose weight, I think I might have a shot at looking better.
All right. What about 20 years' time, 51? Do you think you'll be better looking?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And then are you better looking now at 31 than you were at 21?
No, because I gained weight.
At 21, you were better looking. Okay.
And maybe 25, 27 was my best ages.
Sure. And then for you, 31, do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time?
Absolutely not.
And then were you better looking at 21 as compared to now at 31?
My peak was 27, so it's closer to what I'm now.
So you are better looking now at 31
Than when I was 21, yeah.
at 21. Do you have photos of
I
young,
had deleted
glossy, Glaska?
Yeah.
Okay, well. Selena, you're 19, better looking in 10 years' time?
No.
Okay. Better looking at 29 versus now at 19?
Yes.
In Bakersfield or in...
No, hopefully by that time I'm already,
You're gonna thick up a bit at 29, so all the Bakersfield meth heads are gonna...
No, I'm assuming at that time I'd probably already have like started a family, so
Sure.
fitness mom. So
Okay.
I think I'm cute.
Should we show the picture of young Jake?
I could get it up.
Show
Is it on your Instagram or you have to like email it to us or something?
If you scroll down, as in like the transformation one?
Yeah,
that's on my Instagram.
Can you pull up his Instagram? Also pull up mine. We got to see young Brian here.
Jake, what's your Instagram? Jake Rattle SNK.
Also, guys, while you're at it, like the video. Please like the video. And you gotta like the video. We are doing a sort of essentially fundraiser for our good friend Mason, who's been on the show. If you're just tuning in, he was in a very serious motorcycle accident a couple days ago. He's still in the hospital. He's looking like he's recovering, but things are, I don't know the full details, but he's still in the hospital in any case 7 days later. So 50% of all fan funding from tonight's stream are going to go towards Mason's medical expenses, super chats, TTS, Twitch subs, Streamlabs messages. 50% of all fan funding will go to Mason's medical expenses. Reed 100, TTS 200. Were you able to find it, Austin? Or?
Yeah, we're just going down to find it.
Okay, sounds same.